contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Father Patrick Fumbelo of Mongo Diocese rejects proposed amendment of Bill number 7 of 2025. Governance activist Samson Zulu appeals to President Hichilema to constitute a commission of inquiry on how to safeguard former presidents. And Uganda leader signs new law allowing military trials for civilians. This bulletin is live on our Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. Parish priest for St. Peter the Rock, Father Patrick Fumbelo of Assis, says the proposed constitutional amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 legitimacy and democratic integrity. Speaking during the Transparency International Zambia TIZ stakeholders engagement meeting in Mongo today, Father Fumbelo said the proposed clauses in Bill number 7 falls short of reality and must be firmly rejected if the country is to build a truly participatory and accountable governance system. The priest underscored the need to ensure that electoral and governance reforms are not just symbolic gestures, but those that are grounded in equity, constitutional principles, and public interest. Father Fumbelo urged the delegates attending the engagement dialogue meeting to center pushing for reforms that are coherent, consultative, and anchored in democratic values, not driven by expediency or partisan interests. Governance activist Samson Zulu has appealed to President Hakainde Hichilema to consider constituting a commission of inquiry to ask Zambians how former head of states should be treated. Mr. Zulu argues that the recent developments surrounding the demise and funeral procession of the late 60th Republican President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu has not only exposed the existing gaps, it has also compromised the security of the country. Mr. Zulu has therefore underscored the need to change the law that will ensure presidential benefits for the former presidents are maintained despite them playing an active role in politics. He insists that the removal of benefits of a former head of state exposes national state security. In the meantime, Mr. Zulu fears that President Hichilema may face prosecution after he leaves office because of the precedents which has been set following the happenings on the funeral of the late 60th Republican president. Government, through the Ministry of Energy, has formalized a strategic partnership between Zambia firm Akura Logistics and international investor Baker Global Capital Africa for the deployment of 50 megawatts of solar power across 209 public institutions in Eastern Province. The signing ceremony held today in Lusaka marked a major milestone under the Presidential Solar Initiative, a flagship program championed by President Hakainde Hichilema to expand access to clean, affordable, and reliable energy, particularly in underserved. Initiative targets the addition of 1,000 megawatts of energy to Zambia's national grid by 2025. Speaking at the event, Energy Minister Makozo Chikote said the agreement reflected the government's strong commitment to delivering practical results in the energy sector. The minister noted that the solar installations would benefit essential public institutions, including schools and hospitals. The situation, he said, will enhance service delivery and improving the quality of life for province. Mr. Chikote therefore partnership between a local Zambian company and a global financial institution was a clear sign of growing investor confidence in Zambia's economy. The minister attributed the investment to the stable, transparent, and accountable leadership of President Hichilema and the UPND government, which has undertaken wide ranging reforms to create a more predictable and investor friendly environment. He further noted that under the new Dawn administration, Zambia had moved from rhetoric to implementation, and that today's signing was a testament to that. Minister has since assured the ministry's commitment to the success of this and all other projects under the Presidential Solar Initiative through streamlined regulatory processes, coordinated oversight, and clear policy direction. Speaking at the same event, Baker Global Capital Africa founder and principal officer Mr. Douglas Baker said his firm is proud to be contributing to long-term solutions for Zambia's electricity deficit. He expressed a strong commitment to delivering high-quality solar energy solutions that directly benefit the Zambian people and support the country's development goals. In the meantime, Akura Logistics Chief Executive Officer Mr. Chola Katai thanked the government for its continued support to local investors. The environment had made it possible for Zambia to participate meaningfully in national development. He affirmed his company's dedication to delivering quality service through its partnership with Baker Global Capital Africa. This is contained in a press statement made available to 5FM News by Ministry of Energy Principal Public Relations Officer Bob Sianjalika. Education Minister Douglas Siagalima has emphasized the need for increased collaboration among African countries in the education sector, highlighting its potential to drive development across the continent. Speaking during the Regional Competence Enhancement Workshop on Designing Effective Continuous Professional Development (CPD) programs for teachers and establishing a functional, Mr. Siagalima has stated that Africa is rich continent, and if it unites, particularly in the education sector, it can unlock immense growth and transformation. He has further noted that while organizations such as UNESCO and other international bodies can provide support, the responsibility to find sustainable solutions ultimately lies with Africa itself.
We are one continent, a rich continent, divided by boundaries that were made for us. If we don't unite, especially in the education sector, we are done in the business center. Collaboration is more important than ever before for Africa. Last week I was opening another workshop here at our National Science Center. There were 14 countries to attend. And I said, this is as it should be as Africa. Several years of wars here and there, you will not develop. Collaboration like this is what makes countries and continents. And I'm so proud. So for me, this excites me. Wherever I go, if I'm opening a workshop or a conference where there are different countries, I say, Africa, here we are. Africa, here we are.
Meanwhile, UNESCO team leader and representative Mrs. Alice Saili has noted that the focus of the workshop reflects a growing consensus across the continent that teachers must be continually empowered, supported, and valued if education systems are to be transformed and learning outcomes improved.
The focus of this workshop, enhancing competencies in continuous professional development for teachers and supporting the establishment of effective teaching councils, reflects a growing consensus across the continent. This growing consensus is that our teachers must continually be empowered, supported, valued if we are to transform education systems and learning outcomes. This workshop, ladies and gentlemen, offers a timely and unique opportunity for the Ministry of Education officials as well as local education representatives to gain practical insights on how to design effective CPD programs for teachers and establish functional teaching councils.
A Chinese national identified as Mr. Liang Qi has been arrested by the police in Lusaka for allegedly swindling out his fellow Chinese national a sum of 55,000 United States dollars. The act, which constitutes a criminal offense of obtaining money by false pretenses, contrary to Section 309 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Mr. Key, aged 45, a businessman, was apprehended yesterday, Sunday, June 15, 2025, at 05 hours in connection with a report filed by his fellow Chinese national, Mr. Sang Jiang, aged 46, of Emsdale area in Lusaka. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga disclosed to 5FM News that the complainant reported that on Friday, May 23rd, 2025 at 10 hours, and according to the brief facts, the suspect deceived the victim into believing he had genuine gold for sale when in fact the minerals presented were counterfeit. The suspect is currently in police custody and will appear in court soon.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to confirm the detention of a Chinese national at Kanyama Police Station for the offense of obtaining money by false pretenses, contrary to Section 309 of the Penal Code Act, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. The suspect has been identified as Liang Qi, aged 45, a businessman. He was apprehended yesterday, Sunday, 15th June 2025, around 05 hours, in connection with a report filed by Mr. 6, also a Chinese national residing in Emersdale. The complainant reported that on Friday, 23rd May 2025 at 10 hours, he was swindled out of 55,000 United States dollars by an individual who falsely represented himself as a gold dealer. According to the brief facts, the suspect deceived the victim into believing he had genuine gold for sale when in fact the minerals presented were counterfeit.
And in other news trending this evening, the Zambian government has expressed gratitude to the government of the Republic of South Africa for the support rendered to the Zambian government, the bereaved family, and mourners in the wake of the passing of Zambia's 60th Republican President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Collins Zovu has called on the newly appointed Board of Directors for the Water Resources Management Authority, WAMA, to act boldly and decisively in fulfilling their mandate. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
The National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA, has launched iCare, a new digital service platform designed to revolutionize how employers and members interact with the authority. The new system marks a significant milestone in NAPSA's journey towards a more efficient, transparent, and customer-centric service. Commenting on the development, NAPSA Director General Muyangwa described the introduction of iCare as a bold step into a new digital era aimed at transforming the way the authority delivers pension services to the Zambian public. The director further stated that key features of iCare introduces new capabilities that are set to significantly enhance service delivery, including automated submission of monthly returns, eliminating manual data entry, and improving efficiency. It also enhances real-time member verification, ensuring accuracy of contribution records. The other key features also enhance payroll system integration, enabling seamless return submission and remittance of contributions, among others. The platform also empowers members to access their pension information conveniently, and through iCare, members can check their NAPSA statements, update personal or beneficiary details, submit pension claims, and interact with NAPSA anytime, anywhere, from any internet-enabled device. Ends the business news, and in news from across our borders, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has signed into law an amendment that will allow once again, and civilians to be tried in a military court under certain circumstances. A previous law permitted such trials was ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in January. Before that ruling, civilians could be taken to a military tribunal if they had been found with military equipment like guns or army uniforms. Activists had complained that the law was used to persecute government critics. Parliamentarians passed the amendments last month amid a heavy police presence and a boycott by opposition lawmakers who argued that it violated the ruling by the country's highest court. And in sports news, 4 people have been handed suspended jail sentences after being found guilty of committing hate crimes against Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. The quartet were found guilty of hanging an inflatable effigy of Vinicius Jr. over a bridge near Real Madrid's training ground in January 2023, shortly before Atletico Madrid's Copa del Rey match at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. 3 of the groups were sentenced to 14 months in prison, while one was given a 22-month sentence for distributing images of the act online. However, the sentences have been suspended after all 4 signed a letter of apology to the Brazil International, Madrid, La Liga, and the Spanish Football Federation. The sentence included a restraining order preventing the quartet from going within 1 kilometer of Vinicius, his home or Real Madrid's training ground, as well as a blanket ban on attending La Liga matches. And now the weather. A moderate and relatively moist airflow from the southeast continues to influence most parts of the country, leading to windy at times and partly cloud weather conditions. Eastern and Muchinga provinces, including the southern parts of Western Province, partly cloudy, slightly windy, and mild, tending to be cool by dawn. Northwestern, Southern, Lusaka, Central, Copperbelt, Luapula, and Northern provinces, including the northern parts of Western Province, mainly clear, windy at times, and cool. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Parish priest for St. Peter the Rock, Father Patrick Fumbelo of Mwangu Diocese, says the proposed Constitutional Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 raises serious concerns about inclusivity, legitimacy, and democratic integrity. Governance activist Samson Zulu has appealed to President Hakainde Hichilema to consider constituting a commission of inquiry to ask Zambians how former heads of state should be treated. And finally, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has signed into law an amendment that will allow, once again, civilians to be tried in a military court under certain circumstances. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the evening.